Yes, we will. But up next, MP travel expenses. How quickly should they be made public? In fact, let's talk about it now. Sarah Game is a member for One Nation in the Upper House of State Parliament, and she joins you now. Good morning, Sarah Game.
Good morning.
So you've put forward this legislation, and is it going to a vote today?
That's right, Stacey. I've put forward the Ministerial Travel Report Amendment Bill, which will go to a vote today. And I understand I do have support of the Liberal Party and the crossbench on this. The reason that I'm doing it, Stacey, is because I feel that community morale and respect towards politicians is low. And one of the reasons is that they see ministerial travel costs as exorbitant, with an unclear added value, and that reporting's not transparent and it's not detailed.
Okay, so when you say it's not transparent and detailed, what should change in your mind?
So what this bill will do, which I believe with a fair amount of confidence it will pass the Upper House today, is it will require every minister and any staffer or public sector employee that travels with that minister anywhere outside South Australia, so interstate or overseas, to provide a report within 45 days. And that report will state the reason they travelled, any activities they undertook when they travelled. They'll have to declare any professional versus significant private time they took while travelling. And you'll get a detailed reporting of the costs, so transport, flight, other transport, accommodation, food and beverage costs.
And I think at the moment it is required that this stuff be published, but you're proposing for the time period to be reduced, so it should be published, what did you say, within 45 days?
So it does two things, Stacey. It standardises the reporting time. So my understanding at the moment is, it's really as soon as possible or ideally within a 3-month period, but we've seen that not happen on at least a couple of occasions. But not only does it standardise the reporting time, but it will make sure that when it is reported, there's a detailed itemised costing, which they currently don't have to do. That's department dependent.
Okay. Quite often when we talk about this as an issue, I think that the technical term that comes up is return on investment. The more common phrase is bang for buck. Does this go towards that to a degree as well? The idea that, hey, if you're going to go on a big trip and you spend a lot of money, we need to have some sense that it was worth it.
Well, absolutely. I think it absolutely does that. By making this essentially a public document and allowing it to be scrutinised easily by the media, I believe that politicians or ministers will take greater care to ensure that they clearly communicate why they've spent taxpayer money as they have and what they've got out of it.
Now, Sarah Game, when we've spoken about this to the government in the past, they have said it's just not possible to try and consolidate all of the different costs from different credit cards and different accounts and different booking systems within such a short period of time. What's your response to that?
Well, I don't know whether they might not have come around, Stacey. It'll be interesting to see what happens today. But this is absolutely possible, and that's why I've got support from, I believe, the entire crossbench and my Liberal colleagues on this, because it's possible, it's reasonable, and it's the right thing to do.
And as you say, if it does pass today with the support of the Liberals, the Greens and the two SA Best MPs, it'll pass the Upper House. Have you had any discussions with the government about whether or not they're going to support it and then therefore it may pass the Lower House as well?
Look, I've had verbal communication and we'll have to wait and see, Stacey, what happens. But I hope that the government will see this as an opportunity to do the right thing and gain the respect of the public.
And can I just double check? I think the first time we spoke to you when you were introducing this legislation to Parliament, you were attempting for it to be published within 30 days, and now it's 45. Is there a reason for the change, or?
Yes, there is. Yes, I wanted it within 30 days initially, but I've come to a compromise position of 45 days, which was based on negotiations with my crossbench. So for me, it's better to have this go through than not have it go through. And like I say, it not only brings in the time to a standardised way, but it actually, and I think possibly more importantly, allows us to see the costing in a more itemised manner as well.
Okay. Well, as you heard earlier, we've got the Premier in the studio after 8:30, and I think he's about to head off on a trip to China tomorrow. So we can ask him what he thinks about the legislation. Sarah Game, thanks for your time.
I'm interested to see what he says. Thanks very much.